Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to the channel IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension and come on into a live energy update where we have so much to get into today. We're going to be talking about basically all of these like MK Ultra programs and how we have really been, I feel like, unconscious and out of tune with how expansive or how extensive the MK Ultra truly runs. And I feel like this has a lot to do with generational amnesia. But what I am finding is that there are MK Ultra programs that are programs. Monarch programs, which are meant to transcend generations. And so this is kind of something that's been coming up a lot recently as I've been being activated. I feel like more and more to these paradigms that consist of the SSP, that consist of the deep military, that consist of the galactic hodgepodge of where all these energies are essentially aligning on a multidimensional level and how it's been expressing and showing itself to me through accessing portals down here in Pensacola, which is absolutely crazy. But I've been finding the more and more that I go down to Pensacola Beach and kind of participate in the things that are occurring there, I get more initiations or more levels of awareness of these MK Ultra programs. So it's just something that's kind of aligning in my world. And it may be some codes that you have coming forward as well. I feel like a lot of my inner circle at this time are really picking up more and more on how these particular MK Ultra programs, all of the Monarch programs, the alien technology, how this is kind of seeping in, and just the realizations that, who's who in the cosmic zoo type of thing. I think that's a book actually from a divine sister that I'm probably going to be interviewing on the show soon. I got to go back and read my email through again, but yeah, that was the word. And realizing how we're simultaneously coexisting with, those that walk amongst us of the Greys, those that walk amongst us of the Galactic Federation, those that walk amongst us of the Guardian Alliances, those that walk amongst us, um, that are angelic, human, soul embodied. I mean, this really is a very advanced planet where a lot of life has come to seed and ultimately has a pretty well multi-dimensional infinite agenda on this earth. So we're going to talk about a lot of this today on this update. I've been really feeling the need to come on and talk with you guys because, as you may know, I just recently went down to the Blue Angels Air Show. And I was there on Friday and I was there on Saturday. And it's quite an extensive show, you guys. Everything that they have going on there. And just as I explained here in the intro coming in, like I really feel like it's like this hodgepodge of galactic energy. And that's really opening up a lot of galactic extraterrestrial sound portals at these air shows because what they're doing is they're just running all of this like high level tech above your head. And some of it looks of this earth and looks very human, and other parts of it look very off-world, very galactic, like it is not of this universe type of thing. And the sounds that are coming from some of this tech are absolutely vibrating at a sound field in which does that is not familiar to you from this universe. And so that's something that was very interesting to me was how these sound fields are opening up other dimensions to other multi-galactic systems. Sorry, guys, my throat chakra just decided to go totally crazy as I was saying all of this to you just now. Like, it just like, it just went off the radar. Like, as if I'm tickling something, right? I'm like getting like I'm peeling back a layer to something that I don't know, feels like it's obviously things that have been talked about before, but it feels like something that is maybe hasn't been talked about it in the way that we're about to talk about it. And that in itself is going to open up more dimensions into these other hypersonic multidimensional realms essentially that are opening through these sound portal gateways in which I experienced at the Blue Angels air show down in Pensacola. So, yeah, I want to talk to you guys all about this. Like, this has just been blowing my mind. And honestly, I've been having to like recuperate over the last couple days. Some of you may have seen that I got on and tried to go live at that air show with you guys, but I don't think I could get the internet to stay stabilized enough while I was there, which is very strange because normally I have full bars while I'm there, down at the beach area. And while I was there, there was so much disruption in the field. It was absolutely insane. I mean, from the frequency to the vibration to what felt like a level of soul possession and hijacking to what felt like um some sort of again abracadabra hocus pocus spell magic that was being done to the crowd, and here I am in the crowd, so I'm kind of taking in all of these codes, absorbing all of these codes, reading and scanning, how these codes are essentially affecting people on the beach. Really interesting. A lot of people, as soon as they get there, they immediately go into party mode, drinking mode, oppression mode, suppression of the soul mode. They immediately go into like detaching from anything holy or angelic for sure. And it's like they almost step into a negative ET body. It's like they become infused with the negative ET consciousness because a lot of what is there is a part of that, is an extension of that, is an extension of the MK Ultra because it almost felt like the show itself was an MK Ultra, whether it's through processes of initiation, processes of experimentation, or processes of um, entertainment, right? And entertainment typically is, how these programs come through in the first place, right? If you are entertained by something and you are putting down your guard and you're enjoying something, you are immediately susceptible to programming. Okay. And what they're doing through this massive sound frequency land grid host and hijack at these air shows is they're essentially disassociating your consciousness. They're fragmenting your consciousness, your sound and light body, which makes you very ripe for MK Ultra, where they can implant things into you, implant identity, implant mental programs, implant whatever they want to implant. Essentially. So there is a level of that is occurring simultaneously to this is fun. This is so cool. This is exciting. Da 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 da. Um, I recognize this through the aircraft again that was coming through. So we're gonna talk about that aircraft. I'm gonna show you some pictures of a couple of the planes that presented themselves that I know for a fact this is negative ET craft. This isn't from Earth. And we're gonna get into that, you guys. So come on into this live and check on in. I'm so excited you guys are here. Be sure to say hello in the chat and just let me know that you're here. You do have to be subscribed to the channel for at least 60 seconds to get down into the chat, but I love it when you guys do follow along and just participate in the conversation. As you know, I think it helps me stay a little bit more linear, to be honest with you. Otherwise, inside my own head, it's a little bit dangerous. Can't guarantee where you guys will end up with me. It's a hot, beautiful day out here today, as per usual. Every single day in Florida is a sunny day usually. So, yeah, just out here doing my best to make friends with the white diamond solar sun, and also, been using my pool a lot more, you guys. I've been really using the pool, and it's been amazing. Like, I am developing a new relationship with my pool. Because some of you may not realize this, but I care for my pool all by myself. Completely 100% by myself. Nobody helps me with the pool. I do this alone. And you know what? In the beginning, when I first got this house, I seen the pool. Um, I wasn't able to essentially uh, really learn much about it or check deeper into it because, um, I mean, I bought it living in another state essentially. So I seen everything online and just went with the pictures and then just bought it basically. So I didn't know much. To my surprise, getting down here, I was thrilled because it's actually a salt pool. Okay, and that was exactly what I wanted, even though I never thought to really like even question or say it out loud. I think I was just overwhelmed with the process of being a first-time homeowner and all these things, right? So I didn't have all my ducks in a row in terms of every single question I need to ask, and just so happened, synchronistically, it happened to be exactly what I wanted, which was the salt pool. So, um, I thought that in the beginning I should be hiring someone to come over and take care of it. And I tried to do that at first. And then everything just started like continually falling through. Like all the people that were supposed to come consistently, there's something that happened with that person. And I just started kind of getting left on my own to have to take care of it. And so I'm like, I'm really going to have to do this. I'm really going to have to step up to the plate and take care of this pool. And it was really hard at first because I was just so overwhelmed with everything that it needs. But I'm really glad that I learned it. And I'm really glad that I know now everything because it has just, you know, upgraded my pool carrying uh abilities, but beyond that, like I feel like it's been somewhat of a ritual. It's almost been something that I've needed as like some sort of cleansing or some sort of clearing and purification process, actually. Because what I've realized is this pool is a garden. And I'm like, I've been getting massive downloads in this pool. And the water itself is a garden. So the pool is my water garden. I kind of think of it as like every drop of the water is like my universal child. And I feel like maybe other pool owners might feel this way. It's like you've been kind of chosen to take care of a big body of water. You've been chosen as like a water keeper. That's kind of how I look at it and how I feel about it. I've been chosen to keep this water because water is living, water is consciousness, right? And like it does require care and nurture to take care of a pool. And so I've had to learn like water as a consciousness, not only like how it makes me feel when I get in it, but what are the processes of purifying the water because the water likes to be purified. The water likes to be filtered. Okay, the water likes to be the water likes the salt, essentially, because it's a salt pool, right? And so the salt has like a spiritual relationship with the water because the salt is what keeps the water sterilized. It keeps the water from being unable to mold or get fungi or that algae, which I did have to learn, you guys, through this pool actually turning green. Just so you know, that happened to me one time this last winter. The whole pool turned green. And it felt like I had an infection in my body. It felt like I had an infection in my womb. It felt like it was almost symbolic to where I was at in my journey because it was right when I was getting all of those really just dark Saturnian downloads revealing all these things, and it was just wild. So, I mean, I had to learn how to really clean and clear the infection out of the water, make it clear again, make it holy again, make it transparent again, make it translucent again, make the water feel warm, loved, and happy. So the water has to feel happy. The water has to feel nourished or taken care of in a way for you to feel that reciprocation when you're using the pool, when you're swimming in it. Like it all kind of comes back to you as the pool feels, as the water feels clean and feels clear and it has the salt and it feels like you're taking good care of it. And so it's like keeping your water happy. Yeah, keeping the water high vibrational. That's what I love about it. This process of caring for the water and becoming a water keeper. And and it has me comparing the vibration to the ocean because I recognize why do we love the ocean so much? Why does the ocean make us feel so happy? And that's because the ocean is like nourished, it's nourished waters, and that's because of the salt. That symbiotic relationship of the ocean water with the salt, that's more nourished water. So when you go to the ocean, it's like you're replenished. You're feeling immediately higher vibrational because the salt helps the water elevate that vibration through clarity. It's really just it's a magical connection. And it has me realizing with like nurturing a salt pool and comparing that to regular fresh water. The fresh water we drink, okay, it's not as nourished. It's more raw, it's more unfiltered, and therefore when that consciousness is inside of us and we drink us, it makes us become more raw to roam the earth plane of existence. It's a necessity to actually take in this kind of water, because it helps us to, exist on the land, which this is like vibrationally attuned to land. So, um, yeah, this water, fresh water is more constructed to the outer layers of Earth's survival, and it sustains those and nurtures those emotions within us. So it's just, yeah, there's a whole water consciousness world that's really opening up with me since not only have I shared, my galactic origins with you guys being from the Hydra system, but then also waking up to recognize like there's more to this with keeping of the water gardens, and that, within the Hydra system itself, there's multiple water garden worlds, and all of them are different. All of them require different energy, and give different energy. So there's more to go into that in terms of like channeling information. But I think the main thing with my pool, anyways, is that the water likes to stay clean. The water, um, the filtration system. The filtration system is what's most important because this is what keeps the water soft. It's what keeps the water moving because the water doesn't actually like to stay still for too long. Because if the water stays still for too long, this is when it's almost like the water can become depressed. It's strange, but the water, when it's too still, it's more susceptible to, I think, pathogens and things like this, and bacteria getting in and growing through it and things like this. But when it starts to move, and that's what the filtration system does, is it moves the water, cleanses the water, purifies the water. Um, it allows it to like, shed all of the impurities through the water. And I think the water loves feeling that. The water loves feeling purified. The water that's flowing through rivers and trickling down streams and mountains and things like this, this is some of the happiest water on earth. this is some of the most highest vibrational water there is because it's like completely in its like element of movement, of exploring movement, of flowing, all these things. So, yeah, I have like a pretty intense relationship with it over here, but every time I get in the pool, I'm getting more downloads about this. Happy Monday, Jim Montgomery. So nice to see you. Marsha Forbes, hey girl. Thank you. Love you too. Hi, April, Sealer. Yeah, guys, come on in. Laura loves the water. April says, I had to trick to add copper pipe pieces in your water filter to help the algae. Haven't tried it, but it makes sense. I have seen that actually and have thought about, yeah, I need to do that. You just put it in your filter. Yeah. I'll have to try that. I think it would definitely, I mean, I don't see why not. It only makes sense to do that. I also find that, besides the copper, my crystals as well. Like I have two large crystals, like very large pieces of crystals that I keep on the edge of the pool by the mermaid. And usually when I go in, they're just charging in the sun every day, and I'll bring them in to the pool and I'll just, charge the pool with the crystals. And I also find that the pool loves it when you dance in it. Like there is something about dancing in the pool, especially at this time of year, because the temperature is where the water wants to be right now. I mean, the temperature, this like 85-degree, 90-degree temperature that the pool's at right now, it's a very comfortable temperature. And in this temperature is where all of this this strong invite you get to dance in the water because I find when you dance in it, it kind of opens up these water portals, and I start to connect with nymph spirits in the pool. I start to connect with all kinds of different nymph spirits, like ones that have come from the gardens of Tivoli, ones that are coming from the Gulf of America, freshwater nymph spirits, nymph spirits from the Mediterranean Sea, and nymphs from the gardens of Lemuria, and nymphs from the Hydra system. Like it's like they start coming through the water, and then um I can feel how they're kind of like directing or guiding, saying how like the water loves to roll, the water loves to spin, the water loves to twirl, the water loves to dance. The water loves to feel a lot of sensual rhythmic vibration, fluidity, frequency. Um, it's kind of like, have you ever seen those water like funnels, right? It's like if you were to spin something really, really fast and then the funnel would happen inside of the water, the little tornado, or they're actually called something like funnel pools or something like this. There's actually a location on the Earth. It's a lunar Stargate location. It's either through the Strait of Magellan or some place maybe in Europe. I'm gonna have to look it up again. It's actually on my website. I have a whole list of these lunar Stargate locations, but they're places on Earth in which basically water does like magical things, like spectacular magical movements in the water, like anomalies on the planet. Why is this happening? There's this place where thousands and thousands of these like funnels are just naturally happening in this strait area. And this is essentially where like the water is most happy, is because it loves to be in this like playful, like loving vibration where it gets to spin and do all this stuff. So waters, again, yeah, they love streams, they love trickles, they love sprays, they love water fountains. Like water loves to be in fountains. It loves to like, you know, spray and all these things. Um, So all of that is I feel like has been being shown to me by the nymphs, and I've kind of been channeling more of their messages for humanity. Like a lot of this has been coming through the guardian um, spirits on the planet. And this is another thing I wanted to get in with you guys today. So we are going to be talking about the MK Ultra. We are going to be talking about some of this stuff at the Pensacola Air show that I seen, like this negative ET craft. But I also wanted to talk with you guys about the guardian spirits because um, I've been just getting the download more and more that it was really significant for me to maybe define who essentially are the guardians because that's a question I've actually been getting asked quite a bit is, what's the differentiation between all these kinds? And, how do you know if these are ones that you should or shouldn't be communicating with, all of these things. But essentially, the Guardians are like a range. It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, like in real life, like real spiritual life, like all of the all of this like coming to life. Like it's spirits, souls, and chosen ones amongst the galactic framework, the planetary framework, and the spiritual dimensions, essentially. And all of those that are kind of chosen within that to serve planetary stewardship, to serve planetary, indigo contracts, grid worker contracts, starseed contracts, 144,000, 144 harmonic Earth dimensional contracts, and things like this. That they are a group of misfits in a way. The Guardians are misfits. And the misfits work together to kind of sustain um, what I feel like they kind of latch into, which is the Guardian Alliance and things like this that are defined by specific galactic celestial nations. But having that said, the nymph spirits, okay, these ones, they are also guardians as well. Like mermaids are guardians. This is it's basically any spirit that is a protector and overseer or is like a silent sentinel, somebody who silently, witnesses and returns information back to the host, the planetary Akashic records, the earth spirit body, God, source creator, the wisdom keepers, the guidance bearers of new earth and humanity. These are the ones, and their spirits are very vast and infinite. You have faces in the rocks, in the mountains. Again, you see like the spirits taking form in the clouds. You see the sacred ancient spirits of the grandmother trees, to the blue whales, to the cetaceans. All of these spirits are a part of the guardians, and the nymphs are too. They're water guardians. They are essentially feminine nature water spirits. And their role on Earth is to essentially they create all of the beauty. They craft all of nature's beauty so that way we know how to find beauty, see beauty, feel beauty, experience beauty in life and in all living consciousness. They're a part of the creating of the beauty. And so yeah, the nymph spirits, you can find them in salt pools, you can find them in the ocean, you can find them in the rivers and in the forest. You can find them in the mountains. Anywhere that the land was, fraught essentially, or difficult, or um, fragile, that those spirits come in and they bring in the beauty. They bring in this embodied state within nature as a divine agent, and they personify that beauty within it. And so they are regarded as many different divinities, but it all kind of comes back to the feminine like nature spirits, that's kind of who's holding all of that together. And I think the biggest message that I got with the nymphs, and I feel like this is important because I am also writing about this in my book when it comes out. Hey guys, yeah, come on in and check on in for this live. I'm just getting going. I'm just starting to like really dive in over here. I hope everyone's doing well today. It's a beautiful day. It's a hot day. This world is a hot mess and we all know it. And and we're just hanging on for dear life. We're hanging in there trying to make it all work. Um, I feel myself flipping back and forth. I feel the bifurcation of the timelines are very strong right now. Some of you may be feeling that, you're kind of going back and forth between the higher and lower earth planes and earth realms being kind of pulled back into the real serious timelines, the real divide and conquer timelines, the holy war timelines. Um, and you may be transcending a lot of that right now as well. You may be living in kind of either or because there's only so much that your light body can ultimately sustain, and you might be shifting, transdimensionally shifting to more light body sustaining earth dimensions as you kind of let go or surrender things that are just of the old world system. I find myself doing this more and more as of recently. Um, and kind of going back into those creative kingdoms, right? It's almost like the creative floodgates on Earth are opening up more and more. They're becoming more accessible to those that are able to tap into that infinite creatorship and co-creatorship ability and able to harness the um like the inner child timelines. Really, that's where the creative magic flourishes because one can't really ultimately be so creative without access to that inner child because the inner child taught the soul how to create, from the beginning. So that's like those magical portals are opening up. And I've been getting a lot more accelerative energy when it comes to bringing in more from the future. So I think we did have some strong um, quarantine contracts that were placed on the fourth dimensional fields for some time, and I've been seeing that a lot of those have been shifting. It's almost like a new guardian guard has come into the planet and into the timelines. Oh, hey family, did I freeze? Let me know if you guys can still see me, you can still hear me. I have what looks like I'm on a freeze hold. Okay, looks like you can see me. I'm getting that you guys can see me. Okay. Yeah, it's just freezing on my main screen, but I think it's still coming through okay. So awesome. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. I'm like, wait a minute, am I just stuck in an awkward position? And you guys are just okay, awesome. I'm glad it's coming through. Thank you so much. And put a big like on this video. If you're just tuning in, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that notifications bell, and share this out if this information is aligning with you and you feel like this could help your like-minded ascending friends. Because, I mean, really, we're all kind of stewards of the earth right now. I think a lot of us are embodied, yeah, indigo, starseeds, galactics, those of us that are really rooted in guardian missions at this time. And we're kind of coming to, I think, recognize that we're not really doing all of this guardian restoration and rehabilitation alone. Yes, there are a lot of dark things that are existing on this earth, like the MK Ultra, the Monarch programs, which I want to talk about because I think what we're witnessing right now in terms of the Gaza genocide, what we're witnessing within the Holy Wars, what we're witnessing within even like this Jeffrey Epstein case and everything that's going on with that, all the way to Love Island episodes, stuff I've been talking about on the channel. I mean, these are all MK Ultra programs tied to Monarch programs, all of these things. So it really takes one to be connected to the Guardians, to understand and keep us in alignment to the fact that, we're here to protect the earth, consciousness, humanity, the sacredness of life. We're here to be overseers of this. We're here to be wisdom keepers of the new earth and humanity, and we are here to protect and all of these things, but we aren't doing it alone. We are doing it with the spirits of the guardians. Um, you guys know Sasquatch. Sasquatch is one who shows his body. Um, you guys know out in the woods, like Sasquatch is a guardian. I don't know if you guys recognize that or have ever tuned in with Sasquatch. I personally don't like work with this being too often, but I have seen that um, he's out there or she multiple that they're out there in the forest, they're out there in nature, and the Sasquatches are essentially doing grid work, and that they like work on baby stargates, and they tend to like sacred ley lines and things like this. Like they're working in the terrain that spirits like us may not go into grid. So you have these more crazier looking, guardian representatives essentially that are out in certain areas that are Earth grid keepers, and that's on a quantum level. So you have like the fairies and things like this, all the way to the Sasquatches that are, you know, protectors. Like they're wisdom keepers as well. I told you guys like the whole Guardian Alliance is straight up like Guardians of the Galaxy, that movie, if you guys have seen that, where you have like Groot and like the tree guy, and like I mean this is really what it actually kind of is. Like all these like misfit spirits that get this call to, you know, reshape the earth and to bring forward messages when they need to. So a lot of the Guardians, they've been created across many dimensions. Um, One that I've worked with specifically that comes from and through the Hydra system was Tiamat. So Tiamat is also a guardian of this Earth. She's been with us since the beginning of Earth's creation. Like Tiamat was the 5D template body for the planet. So she's a guardian. You have Pele, the volcano goddess. Pele's been coming in. I mean, Pele's been erupting all the volcano spirits, lava guardians. A lot of these ones come forward when we have really powerful, like detrimental humanitarian messages that people need to wake up to, the volatility of humanity, all of the fuckery, essentially, that humans do to the planet. And Pele's message is pretty strong. Like it is to be revered and respected. You do have Mana, the goddess of the ocean, the primordial ocean goddess Mana, her spirit. I mean, this is one I work with a lot because I'm by the ocean, um, tending to my pool. I often feel like I connect directly with her energy within the water, and she shows me things like how to work through transmitting messages through the water into the oceans. Um, I was seeing like a whole angelic field that opened up over the Gulf of America, as I was going down to this air show, that whole thing, it's like, the water knows. I mean, this is a ritual that's done yearly down there. So the water knows, and it blesses the water and prepares the water for those sound portal rips and tears that they're doing with the sound technology that we're going to get into. Like the primordial water mother spirit knows this stuff, is happening. And so she prepares the waters for these things. You have Pachamama, you have Iru, the mother of Ireland, like the spirit mother of Ireland, all are guardians, like they're guardians, and um some of them do knowingly and unknowingly work within the Guardian Alliances. And the Guardian Alliance is like the galactic faction of the Guardians, and they essentially are the ones battling like the front lines against the negative ET mind control programs on Earth. Everything that's trying to basically suffocate humanity out of existence, and they stand in service to creation, all of the organic holographic architecture of the Earth's multi-dimensional Stargate matrix. And so it's just it's a hodgepodge of beings that come forward. That's why I like referred to the who's who in the cosmic zoo, because it's like we are in a zoo, and you can be standing right next to the darkest draconian villain while standing next to like the most beautiful like angel that's ever descended down from the heavens in like one room. Like I mean that's in in the first dimension. So there's a lot of celestial elemental planetary beings that are participating and forming the spiritual infrastructure that has preserved this world through all of these planetary ascension cycles, through all of the cataclysms, through all of the AI infiltration, all of the genetic hosting and hijacking and cloning, and all of the interstellar conflict. A lot of this is a spectacle, but it is all still coming through synchronicity. But a lot of it is intervening in a lot of ways that I think a lot of us can't, fully perceive just yet. I mean, definitely the dream space through symbols, encounters with nature, just direct downloads that you get from your home star system. I get a lot of clarity through my celestial origins that, bring forward pictures of ancient galactic history of Earth that, fill in these pieces of the puzzle to be able to see is exactly what's missing from the Earth's divine blueprint to be remembered, to be restored. So, this is the role of the guardians as well, is they're here to restore missing pieces of our history. So it's so important we listen to the guardians, and don't disregard all of these spirits and beings that do come through to connect um, with and through uh, contact with them, because that's essentially what's happening is they're making contact typically through like ultra terrestrial processes. I think this was the one thing that I got from the Guardians the most was that they typically guardian spirits, they're not going to come through like in an extraterrestrial fashion. Like they're not going to come through like a fully whole embodied person. I mean, sometimes you get glimpses of some of them, like we discussed before, but most of the time, a lot of them are ultra terrestrial, which means that they refer they're not like not from Earth. Most of the Guardians are ultra terrestrial because it actually means that they're from Earth. But they're just more like quantum in light, quantum in the way that they communicate through telepathy, telekinesis, telepathic portals. Again, the dream space, the astral field, you know. Um, and the ultra terrestrials in spirit and planetary form, but also extraterrestrial form as well. So yeah, I could talk about the Guardians for a while. I've been really connecting with the energy, getting more and more information, kind of what or where they've been guiding me to talk about. Okay, Third Eye Tribe says Death Stranding, Bridge Babies, Artificial Wombs, Abandoned Mast as Connection Soul Delivery across Mimic Ruined Landscapes, Memory Fragments carried as sacred cargo. Wow. I mean, yeah, it sounds like you're describing an MK Ultra program. And the fall of Atlantis, the fall of Mu. Sounds like the Draco invasion, honestly. The mimicry, the Draco's mimic. They mimic to destroy. Oh, let's see. And Re-Evolutionary Bell 62. End the minds rational to use another, make small, insignificant for a reason to acquire and use by another, lust in a form. Yeah. I feel collapsing of timelines, like I'm gaining knowledge from alternate versions of myself. Alters, yes. You guys, this is why we're all under an MK Ultra program. Oh my gosh, like it's so bad. I was even getting like alters in itself come through being abused through MK Ultra because they the whole goal of it is to disassociate your personality. It is to break the soul, fragment, torture, and create enough PTSD within the soul through severe states of trauma, induced trauma, which is what the world is experiencing right now. So yeah, just something to think about. It's not necessarily a bad thing that, you're experiencing alters. Um, but because it's like, what are you going to do, right? Like these things are happening but it's finding ways to like hold yourself and stay aware enough, long enough to recognize where these MK Ultra programs are playing out. I think in order to overcome it, we really have to pull away from the world in a lot of ways to like re-see who we are again, to reseed our identity. Yeah, Eleanor says to stay grounded. Definitely. Well, and I think talking about the guardian energy again, like I think the guardians come to teach us a lot about all of this because I think they remind us through all the stuff that we're dealing with, right? That we're here to uphold the divine blueprint of the Earth's organic holographic multidimensional grid matrix. Like this is a part of our mission. Um, it is to do what we can to prevent total soul annihilation, right? Because that's what these MK Ultra programs are. I mean, they're trying to annihilate the soul. This is coming through a lot of these hybridized lineages through memory erasure, amnesia, time clock alteration, sabotage technology, geoengineering, uh, pressure, fracture stresses, and things like this. Like, hello. Do you guys think that us being exposed under HARP for this long, under aerosol sprayed skies and blankets that shield us from the sun, like so much of this that that this isn't like breaking the psyche, that this isn't breaking, the soul, annihilating the soul. Like, I mean, we know that this is happening, but it's a lot of AI manipulation and a lot of it is again, they're going to have to do something to like get this back into divine order because right now it's really in the trajectory of a lot of manipulation, the pathwork of manipulation. Um, I think the Guardian mission also is to try our best to return the Earth back to its Edenic template. Turn the Earth back to Eden. We have to go back to Eden. So the only way to get back to like the original divine state is to go back to the garden worlds. We talk about the gardens, right? The water gardens, n- uh, repairing our stargates. Our stargates cannot be broken to access garden worlds or Edenic worlds or Edenic templates. So we have to repair those, and that comes through the repair of timelines within our DNA, within the DNA, repairing fractured timelines. So, you're looking at your whole life template going, you're eternal. You have to look at the eternal timeline because you can't just look at this life because it's about repairing every single timeline of great oppression, every single timeline of the fall, every single timeline of soul entrapment, every single timeline of ancestral suffering, every single timeline of hijacking, harvesting, reincarnation, matrix entrapment, crucifixion, persecution. Like we have to it's a lot. There's a lot that we have to do there within all of those timelines of our DNA. And on top of that, we're retrieving and repairing and reactivating our Christos body, our Sophia codes, right? Divine feminine Christ, divine masculine Christ codes because a lot of that gets buried beneath all of the millennia and through the spiritual inversion. We still have to try to pull this through. And then also, I think it's in order for all this to function, many of us on the guardian level, as we uptake to the next initiative levels, we work to begin to defend Earth's living stargates from all of this parasitic occupation in the gate systems, right? Because we repair ours and we start to work on repairing the Earth's living stargates. I mean, you guys have seen we've done a lot of this through Gridwork. We've done a lot of this through clearing Stargate 10, because my gosh, Stargate 10 is something like hella wicked on this Earth, right? We know that there's massive um, Nephilim template that's running there, a lot of the fallen Elohai. Hence why I'm going to be doing the Israel Gridwork mission. So just to throw that out there, you guys, you can check the description of this video and you can sign up for the Israel Gridwork mission that we're doing on 8-8 Lionsgate, where we're going to work on, repairing all the gate systems in Israel. But all of this is really connected to Stargate 10, the Stargate that we need to repair. So, we have to clear the reversal codes, the fallen Elohim, the fallen Nephilim, retrieve all of the Lyran codes, and essentially like clear all the draconian interface points in the planet, because that's what Stargate 10's ultimately upholding. Because after the Nephilim fell, we had the Watcher incursion. It became hijacked, became a reversal gate, and then that allowed for Draco, Zeta, and then all of these AI phantom systems and the Black Goose systems that came from the electric wars that invaded the planet. Draco invaded the planet in Stargate 10. So, you know, we transcend and we work on this from this planetary level. We come back through and we do this through the resonance of remembering. We do this through kind of being chosen to step into like the emissary roles of guardianship, the ambassador roles of guardianship, the witnessship of guardianship. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot we can be doing right now to like, upgrade things, because really, I think it's MK Ultra all around. I mean, people are having crises of identity, unexplainable things are happening. I don't know about y'all, but like I just went through a portal of like 3 days, 3 nights. I think it was right at the full moon that I had a whole bunch of spiritual attacks coming through. There was like energetic interference. And it was like demonic. It was a demonic energetic interference, because every time that they bring through like a demonic attack, they always do the same shit. They always do, sorry, I don't mean to cuss you guys, but they always do the same tactic. They really, really, really like to work with suspension. I don't know what this is about, but demonic spirits like to hold things up off the ground. There's something about being able to take your ability away to be able to like navigate and control your own body. They like to do that. It's the scare tactic. And it's how they interfere and interface from and through AI and from the archontic systems, and they try to utilize that neutral field in the astral to torture. That's what they like to do. So, and these types, I mean, as much banishment as that you're doing, um, you know, they can also come in through, planetary portals. And rips in the space-time continuum of the Earth. Like, the force it is kind of, you do have dictatorship, I would say, over your own field. Not the word dictatorship, but you do have like authority, divine will authority over your own field. But there's like you're still sharing that astral, and the Draco infiltration over the astral at this time. I talked about this in my past update. Is they like to destroy the dream fields. This is where they kind of run amok within that. But regardless of all of that, you guys. The Guardian alliances, the celestial, the actual ultra-terrestrial systems or races, those come through the six primary nations that chose to take public roles. You guys probably know, which ET systems those are. Um, but not all of them took public roles. There are many different starseed nations that took roles that are like to be more operate covertly. They're more rare. They're more celestial lineages who um, they're also advanced souls, again, bringing forth pieces of the Earth's Akashic records, but that they're just not as public. And I've talked about a lot of these ones in my book, actually. The ones that didn't take a lot of public contracts. These ones, I think, are the ones that really need to be tuned into because these are the ones that are carrying all of the secret knowledge that hasn't come to Earth yet. It hasn't fully descended. So, I think there is like a deep call for emissaries and ambassadors from these particular celestial factions for their ambassadors to come forward and to like bring that part of the Akashic record forward because that it might actually be the solution for the Earth and for the devastation that the negative ETs are bringing in is to actually communicate more with these systems that are not taking public roles and things like that. The ones that are taking public roles, they're too busy, and a lot of them do end up, some of them end up becoming corrupted. Some of them end up actually like uh, getting hijacked through the GF and things like this, and getting infiltrated by Greys. That's honestly what happens to a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of infiltration of Greys right now in our community. This is something I've been tuning into a lot more. Um, sorry, I'm just sitting out here with a pillow, so I'm moving around a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of gray interference right now. There's a lot of everybody's essentially like following Grays. Like it's crazy to me. I'm just like, what is going on? I'm not even gonna shout out names right now. I'm not gonna say nothing because it's unnecessary. But from what I can see, is there's so much MK Ultra, like CIA operatives and involvement, mind controlling in our community, and many of the people that people are following that they think they're following, they're basically worshiping the Greys. That's what's happening. And it's coming in the guise of other forms of things that, you know, people think is like hot information or hot intel. And really a lot of these people are just some of them are really big, nasty grays. Like, and if you even, get close to this like gray wasp nest, you're gonna get burned, So the best thing to do is just kind of stay away from things like that. I know I personally, I do not, you'll see I don't involve myself actually too much with a lot of these big groups. Um, or a lot of these big events, like if I do something, I usually just do it like me as me or for myself or something I host or put together. But I don't ever like join these big events and these big movements where a lot of people are coming together because this is where you're actually accessing a lot of those things and becoming more infiltrated by the information that's coming forward. Because, yeah, most of these people are plants. You may not realize it, but they've been planted. And there are even people that put together like amazing body of work and things like this. And they're people you would least expect. But a lot of them have, admitted to having implants by the Greys and things like this. And, so people follow that. And if you're following a Grey, you are being implanted by a Grey. That's basically, there's like no other way to sugarcoat that. So uh it's just to stay aware. Nothing, you should never rely on anything that's outside your own consciousness. Like your consciousness should be dictating all the information, vetting the information out, trusting nobody really at the same time. You know how that goes. and just staying true to like your own gnosis. I think that's one of the most important things, and that's how you know people are the real ones, the people who are going to tell you those things, right? People who are actually rejected by the larger crowds and groups of people. Those are the people that are, probably in better alignment and more alignment to the things that are not hijacked, hosted, or taken over by these grays that are basically infested in our community. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, a lot of this goes back to, again, like we said, the MK Ultra. So let me tell you guys about my air show because um yeah, moving down here, it's just been like I don't even know like what's happening to me on some level, but I'm getting a lot of crazy information. I'm getting new information. A lot of it does seem to be connected to the SSP and to like these internal layers of these military branches in which I'm being like exposed to just living down here, and it's really waking me up to some things. So I want to show you guys a couple of these planes that came by when I was doing the show because this is nuts, you guys. Um, Let me screen share with you. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys my screen. Hang tight just a sec because I have so many screens up. My Zoom screen went missing. Hang on, hang on. Oh, here it is. Okay. So when I'm telling you guys that there was craft out there that I don't think is from Earth, one of the planes that came by in the air show was this F-35A Lightning II plane. Um, and just according to this website here about this aircraft is that it's the newest fifth generation fighter. The Lightning II is a stealthy, multi-role, all-weather air-to-air surface attack fighter. It is designed to enable direct attack against the most heavy defended ground targets. So this was one of the planes as I'm in the air show. This is prior to the Blue Angels. Um, this this picture here, like it looks just like a typical fighter jet, but let me see if there's a better picture. Um, when this goes by, it makes every single other plane in the sky look like it's just not the same. It's not the same. This gives like it's like it gives off a much louder sound. The sound to me felt off-world. The sound to me felt like it's from another universe. This does not, it's so loud. Like when it booms, you can tell it's breaking the atmosphere. It's breaking your light body. This moves your body. That your body responds to this. Like your body is taken over by this. You can't move when this thing goes by. You're actually like paralyzed by the sound. Okay. And it is like it's completely pushing through you, opening up a portal field. It's eerie. It's an eerie feeling. It feels like some sort of like galactic falcon or like it does not feel like angelic human, to say the least. This feels like this is yeah, future technology. I think that's what they said, that this is the future of jets, like the future of fighter technology. So they're definitely bringing, yeah, it says right here, F-35 to lead the defense community in the migration to the net-centric war fighting force of the future. This advanced technology eliminates the need for, heads-up display. Not sure what that means. HUD. I don't know what the technology is inside of the craft, but I'm telling you, this craft is like it's really interesting. And when I looked into it, they said that Lockheed Martin is designing all of this. So if you guys want to know like where these negative ETs have embedded themselves in terms of like the war planetary galactic Trojan horse tech, like it's in these war like building companies, right? The same company that's going to create the dome for America. Lockheed Martin. This right here, this is an interface corporation for negative ETs. Like, no doubt about it. Like, they're interfacing with the Greys, they're interfacing with the Dracos. They probably are a branch of them themselves. I mean, I'd have to obviously deep dive this a lot more and go deeper into Lockheed Martin. But from what I can see, this is unlike anything I've ever seen or felt before. The sound, the vibration. It almost made me feel like some sort of sense of a transdimensional time portal, like that felt very, very far away. Um, I was getting like psychic vision that was flooding open when this jet was coming over, and it was like almost like scrambling my field. Again, when I woke up the next day from the experience that I had, uh at the Blue Angel Air Show, like it took me almost like 2 days to repair. Like I'm coming on like a day and a half after I went to this because I couldn't barely talk yesterday. So I know there was some sort of like fracturing, some sort of like splitting of my field. I had like this post like galactic exposure amnesia for like the whole day and a half. I couldn't collect my thoughts. So this is, yeah, these fighter jets, like they're bringing in the negative ET craft through the deep military. And I'm not saying like all of the military. Again, these are like factions that are embedded into the military that work with these things. I'm not saying there's not good people, that there's not starseeds and indigos in the military serving, you know. But it's interesting, right? And another thing that I think we should take note of as well is not just this craft. Now, this is not a craft that I seen at the show, but it was another craft that has been flying with President Trump. And it's this B-2 Raider. So some of you may have heard of this one as well. And this one is they call it in honor of the Doolittle Raiders of World War II. This one is supposed to be able to deliver thermonuclear weapons, long-range strike bomber. This is what they essentially detonated Iran's nuclear bases with. They shot 14 of these missiles from these bombers, and this bomber flies with President Trump. See if I could do bigger. Yeah, it's the one that looks a little bit like Batman. Have you guys seen this one? I'm sure you have. This stuff is not from Earth, you guys. Not in the least freaking bit. The technology they're using here, I mean, this is not even of this universe what this is. Just so you guys know. Like, is everyone picking up on this the same way I'm picking up on this? Just checking the comments here. Yeah, so I mean, this stuff, it's otherworldly when you see it in person. When you're like up underneath these jets and they're flying over the top of you, the sound from their engines is different. The boom, the sound boom from the the power. that they have, it's different. It's nothing you've felt before. Like you feel it around the craft. The crafts themselves are activated with the off-world ET technology. So when you're around the ships, you're getting exposure to that. Um, so I mean, it's blowing my mind. I still like I'm putting together the pieces of this still. You guys, like it's been nuts. It's been nuts. Like the codes I'm getting, and honestly, like the more I'm getting exposed to these crafts, the more that like I'm seeing like the whole MK Ultra spheres and realms, open up. Um, because I was right after I went to this, I got the download of the Monarch programs. And what came through for me, um, was I kept seeing the Gaza genocide. This is what initially exposed the Monarch program because I initially seen how like this is deeper down the wormhole of MK Ultra. Like there's a lot of programs of MK Ultra. You guys probably know about a lot of them. The Kennedy assassination, I think, is a MK Ultra program. Um, there's an actual MK Ultra that they did. I think it was like 1953. The CIA they did actual MK Ultra. They had Manhattan Project, Bluebird Project. They have one called Artichoke Project, Chatter Project. Um, the Nazis. Okay, so when the Nazis came over post World War II, they brought all of the Nazi mad scientists, vaccination, hocus pocus, MK Ultra, like they brought it was I'm sorry, it was Operation Paperclip. You guys have heard of Operation Paperclip? They brought a lot of this down the Nazi pipeline. So I think the United States, they imported like over 1,600 Nazi scientists into the US. There's like a whole bunch of them that came in. And this was when and where a lot of the experimentation started. When things got really, really bad. Not saying it wasn't bad before, because I know they were doing stuff before. Like they did this whole like syphilis thing where they like exposed a bunch of people to syphilis and then they they never treated them for the syphilis. And then all these guys like had syphilis into the late stages. I think it was like 400 people. This is a real thing that happened. 400 people, they never treated them just to experiment to see what's going to happen in the end of life. And I mean, that's a pretty nasty way to go down, you guys, is because like you hallucinate, you lose your mind. Like you go absolutely mad with syphilis. So that was pretty messed up. There was this whole thing that they did, and I think this is connected to these ships. You're seeing this B like 50. I know this sounds kind of crazy, this B2, because this is what's flying around with Trump, right? I mean, and make sense of that. Put the cards where they may go. You know what I mean? Like make sense of this. I'm still making sense of this stuff. Like, how infiltrated is Trump's crew with these off-world technologies and things like this that are connected to like these, programs and stuff. We know it's all connected, right? It all is because it's all connected to the hidden roots of mind control. All of the hidden roots of mind control is coming down and through the government. It is coming down and through. But what is that made of? You know? What is that ultimately put together from? Because you have all these experimentations that they're trying to normalize this stuff. I mean, how unethical is all of this? How unethical is all of this? There was this one MK Ultra program that they literally did electrotherapy, electroshocking of toddlers to test them for symptoms and psychological influence. They know everything that they need to do to, again, break our psyche down, because that's what it's about. It's about psychological breakdown so they can implant the the false realities and the induced belief implantation, okay, that they want to, so they know because they've been doing it all this time. But when I tuned into this craft, I got I got that this was connected to the Monarch projects, and that the Monarch projects are like these come from these off-worlder energies, and I haven't figured out entirely where. I don't know if any of us ultimately can, because it's some sort of like negative oversight that they have over the generations, because the Monarch programs is generational. It's covert psychological manipulation that operates just like the monarch butterflies. And this is why it's called the Monarch Project, is because they have these multi-generational migrations that occur. Okay, they know that it takes us generations to accomplish certain goals, certain futuristic things that have to happen, that they think have to happen in terms of their New World Order and their New World One religious order and all of these things like this, that they basically do it through a monarch project, a monarch program. So they do mind control techniques, trauma-based programming to create the types of individuals that they want to create. This isn't about taking you now from where you're born, from where you are. This is how foregone the sovereignty is on this planet. They're creating the individuals that they want from birth to condition them to serve violent agendas. This is what Monarch Project is. So in these conflict zones that we have, okay, maybe we have a mild case of it here on US soil, but in areas where that are close to the borders, okay, in areas of high conflict like the Giza Gaza whole Israel Gaza genocide thing, right? This this is where you see the children, the babies being groomed for ideological warfare. Okay, they're raised up underneath and prioritized through these orders. Okay, their lives are, they don't mean anything. Their lives are to serve the perpetuating cycles of what that generational like psyop is meant to do, to play out. So three, four, five, six, 7 generations, however long, there's these these off-world agendas for this universe that are governing these monarch programs. So break that down. Draco system, Gray system, Zeta system. It's probably the Zetas that are wielding this monarch program, but this requires to have had deep looking glass technology. This is what I'm seeing. So again, we know that this is an off-world technology as well, connected to the MK Ultra, but deep looking glass technology for advanced surveillance and predictive systems of the future. So they look into the crystal ball of the future, see what has to happen, where it has to happen, program those children and babies. So the children and babies are like in terms of the expanded MK Ultra and the Monarch programs, they're the ones that they want. And I feel like this is what boils down to Jeffrey Epstein. This is what boils down to the degradational force on this planet right now when it comes to pedophilia. Because pedophilia is like hyper rampant in all countries, particularly in the United States. The US has one of the highest percentage of pedophiles. Like it's absolutely insane, right? Like, but all of that is geared towards monarch programs. And here in the US, like I can only see looking out. I can see looking into our own country, like some of the projects, but I don't think we can entirely see what level of program that those of us residing in the US are entirely under. And this is what breaking the codes of like um our government's connection to Israel and things like this, because they're like also tied into the monarch programs that are running over the United States. That obviously we know Hollywood in itself. Hollywood in itself is it is the core. It is the core of the Monarch program. It has to be. Also Pollywood as well. You have Pollywood, which is according to the Middle East and that whole Gaza situation, that they're controlling the narratives, weaponizing a lot of these images of dead children. Okay, this is a part of the MK Ultra trauma that they're trying to do to the planet. Okay, and it is to destabilize the free world. It is to destabilize and sway global opinion. It is deliberate to trap us and to break us. Okay, this is all a freaking mad psyop, and it's ultimately to get down to the chilling reality of all of this, that the core of the Monarch programs is to sacrifice the young for ideological goals. And I think this is what Jeffrey Epstein and the whole pedophilic thing is about. This is what the killing of the dead babies is over in the Middle East. Anything that's propagating the death of children to destabilize you emotionally, to break your psyche, to break your spirit, it is ultimately to take over your state and to take over like your generation and the outcome of that. They're hijacking the generational lines through the Monarch programs. It's literally it's a calculated cycle. It's not tragedy, I think, to the ones that are controlling it, but this is some sort of calculated cycle where ideological poison thrives on emotional manipulation. And these beings, these off-worlders, they know how susceptible human beings are to emotional traps, emotional manipulation. This is what controls the human being. If you can control the first three chakras, okay, you can control through fear, you can control through emotions, and you can control through identity, personal identity. If you control these three chakras, you control human beings basically. And it's like they have this tech. It's dark psychology ultimately. Like it's the negative ET playbook is that of dark psychology. So, I mean, me, I don't know, but these planes, all of these program codes are encoded to these particular aircrafts. Like, I don't know if they seed these through the atmosphere. If they seed, I think they rip it open through the sound fields. That's how they do it. And I'm telling you guys, Pensacola Beach was literally, it was nuts. I mean, it was a constant beratement of opening up this portal. And now I can see why. Now I can see why when I go down there, half the time I come back bewildered, feeling like I just got hit with a whole bunch of bio weapons and biotech. Um, have amnesia for multiple days. Sometimes it takes weeks to recover fully to get my mental game back. So, yeah, yeah. Um, Very interesting though, huh, you guys? Yeah, spell casting, abracadabra, beta programming, yes, all of it. Data collecting. What else do they have? In terms of the craft, well, yeah, I just showed you guys the two that I thought were the most like. There was a lot of craft that was there. They had like, I think it was like 18 helicopters. Hold on, I have a list of everything that was there. Okay, they had Black Ducks from World War II aircraft. They had 75 Stoll Zenith called a Redbird. They had an Icon A5, a 1946 Navion named Olivia, a veterans flight team from World War II era, like older planes. These were older planes. They had World War II Korean War veteran planes. They had 18 helicopters. They had 10 flying T-6 Texans. They had a U.S. Coast Guard search and rescue demo from MH-65E Dolphin. They had 18 Super Hornets, so 18 Blue Angel fighter jets, which are Super Hornets. And like, yeah, these ones, they're amazing, like craft, but it didn't give the same effect and feeling that I felt with the one that I showed you guys, the F-35A Lightning II, the one that I showed the picture of. That one has like flight swarm technology. That's this one is the off-world one. Let me pull the oh, hang tight. This was the one to me that this this is like it stood out like unbelievably stood out. Um, when this one flew over, this one was it became like almost dark, like the skies became dark. There was like an eerie vibration. The sound again felt like it was opening dimensions and portals to off-world systems. This might just look like an aircraft, but this is very, very big actually. Like we're getting like a front view from it, but from if you're looking up in the sky, it's a monster. And it's like the vibration and it was a sound, a vibration and a frequency that I never experienced before. And again, it takes over your body and it also has some sort of like swarm technology. I noticed one of the things that they were doing at the air show was there was like all this swarming. So they would have multiple of them and they would like swarm the audience. Like over and over and over, like fly over you over and over and over again, like from multiple directions over and over. Like you're almost stunned, right? Like some sort of corralling, some sort of like encampment where you're taken over by the force field, you're taken over by the sound, you're taken over by the experience, the engines, the sound it takes over your body. Your chakras move to the sound, your body moves to the sound. It's really wild. This is the one that I'm telling you. This is bringing through some sort of like off-world negative ET codes, and then also this plane, the B2. The B-2 bomber. This one, you guys, this is the one that flies with Trump, and this one is not. For sure not from this planet. Like this is this is like having what's it called? Non-gravity technology. There's like they're not this is spacecraft. They're flying it right in front of your face. Like this is all like there's no shame in their game. It's all like right there to be plainly seen. Um and so I think that these are like they're for one, they're strolls of dominance. Okay, it wants to be seen. There's been some sort of like clearance. They've had some clearance that they've been granted permission to start using like ET craft. I mean, I know they've been giving us disclosure for a long time. They've been saying like that they're gonna like completely come out about this. We know that this is spoken about on the mainstream. And so I think that it's just up for us to like actually believe what we're seeing or not. Like we're seeing craft. Like this is spacecraft. So and when you come in contact with this stuff, with this flies over the top of you, you're getting um activated to the information that it's carrying with the codes. Like I said, with this craft, this one specifically, and this one. Okay, this is where I'm getting like the Monarch project codes. They're coming in through these crafts, like they're carrying some sort of um energetic encoding that's streamlining the information through like a portal that's opening up and it's ripping through our own space-time continuum. I think it's shredding the environment, honestly. It's shedding everything that is organic, and I think it's also taking a toll on the waters, the elements. It's taking a toll on the animals. It's taking a toll on the birds. It's taking a toll on the fish. all these things. Like it's totally disrupting the spiritual biome. Let me see. Okay, let me share my screen again because let me go back here. So I hope you guys are thinking about joining me for Gridwork on 8/8's Lion Gate. I think this is going to be a very, very significant um, portal for working on the organic planetary Stargate matrix to start healing with with the clearing of the reversal of the invasion timelines, um, to cleanse more of just everything that's reptilian that's plugged into the earth, preventing healing. Um, I think there's a lot of reclaiming of DNA light codes for Israel. I think because of this, like the recognition of the galactic war that we're seeing playing out, that um Israel right now is like the place to take care of this. I mean, this is where this like ET craft was used. I mean, it was used to basically prevent. Think about that. There must be coalitions with Guardian rescue missions to, right, to like stop those Iranian nuclear sites from being developed, and you bring in this B-2 bomber to detonate those. Like, it really makes you wonder what galactic contracts had to be made to bring this particular craft in to detonate nuclear sites. I mean, this is planetary defense weapon systems. I think all of this is encoded to the Israel gate system. So hence the reason why working on Israel is important. Right now, there's a lot of organic stargates that are here, a lot that's tied to the planetary ascension interface network. There's a white lion planetary grid that's activating in Israel and has been dormant in Israel for some time. And so through the grid work, we're going to be working to resurrect those white lion planetary APIN systems. And there's a whole bunch that we're going to be doing with this grid work mission. There's a lot to come through in terms of, yeah, clearing more of Stargate 10, clearing the Gog and Magog codes that are coming through, clearing planetary annihilation. It's definitely this one is definitely a Guardian rescue mission. So I hope you guys will come join me. Links are down in the description for this mission. I'm calling it the Jericho Nephilim timeline purge. We are going to be clearing the Nephilim energies and timelines, and clearing the Temple Mount, because ultimately this is the Stargate that the war is being battled over. I mean, this is a 36 dimensional Guardian Stargate. Like the Temple Mount is very much a part of the construction of the human light body, going back to the original pre-fall Elohim soul lines, Elohai soul lines, pre-fall. Okay, so I mean, we need to like resurrect that um clearing there at the Temple Mount. Also, you guys, my schedule has been filling up for the summer a little bit, so I'm like getting kind of excited about that. But I do still have some openings for July, so if you have been wanting to get in with me for any session work, now's a good time to get on the schedule. So I do offer the 13-dimensional chakra clearings, which this is a good one to do if you've had any sort of exposure to any sort of craft. Okay, clear the chakras. J seal removal as well to clear crucifixion implants, Metatronic encoding, fallen earth realm encoding, implants, blockages, things like this. Draco seal removal to clear planetary weapon systems and implants out of the body. Any sort of spiritual attack that you might be going through, this is a really good session to do. Very healing, very restorative, and it definitely addresses the negative energies the most directly. And then the Lemurian regression, which is the sexual misery healing, implant clearing, removal of all of the female force breeder implants and male force breeder implants that we carry, going back through the timelines and bringing all of that unhealed energy into this Earth timeline where we're trying to do the restorative work. So, a lot of this session work is to ultimately prepare you for grid work. You do want to get your field very purified, very clear as much as possible. Removal of distortions and outdated program software systems that are just not um, in your best interest for doing grid work. You want your template to be very clear. So if you're going to be joining the session, if you feel like you need to, the grid work session, if you feel like you need to clear your field, consider maybe doing some of this session work to prepare for grid work. I also offer the AMP session. This is remote viewing, um, personal tutoring, and development of psychic gifts. So if you're looking for something to work on your psychic gifts one-on-one with me, I can help you develop those. Um, Atlantean Special is kind of like a combination package. I have a whole bunch of things on here. I actually haven't gone through this in a while, so thanks for letting me share, you guys. Also have the Diamond package if you are looking to do all sessions with me, and a one-on-one consultation as well. And I also have the life coordinate planetary grid reading. So if you want to look at your planetary blueprint according to the grid, we go in and chart that. And we also channel divine messages according to your birth ley line, your relationship ley line, ancestral ley line, all of these things like this. Um, and so, yeah, I have quite a bit to choose from here. And also grid work as well, if you're interested in grid work. I have the 3 series Master the Art of Gridwork courses that take you from the beginning levels of gridwork all the way to the more advanced. So, and this really will define for you a lot of the things I speak about on my channel. So, if you feel somewhat lost on the lingo, the words, the references, what is she talking about? Consider taking the coursework because this is going to define the vocabulary, the spiritual technology of grid work, and you'll be able to identify much more with the things that I say and talk about if you get the education that's kind of behind that. So, and this one leads into the New Earth prophecy um, that defines like how the building process of New Earth is actually occurring through the guardianship, through the stewardship, through the Guardian Alliance, and all of the beings that are coming to essentially build the spiritual holographic architecture of the planet for the coming of New Earth. But again, you can see we have this massive like crazy ET issue on the planet that all of the bifurcation of light and dark that we're dealing with here, but it's only for so much time, that we go through these eras or these epochs, that these will change. Actually, the gridwork book that I'm writing, I was actually just doing a chapter on that earlier where I was talking about how a lot of this information is actually going to be for people when they come out of exile in the New Earth. So when the Indigos and Starseeds come out of exile on New Earth from a time where they're going to have to go into exile, this is one of the things I'm seeing that this literature and this information is actually preserved for them. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Eleanor says, yeah, we really need to guard our data. We definitely do. Oh my gosh. And they've just signed all kinds of bills. See, then this is why I say, like, these are psyops, false flag events. Like, this whole Jeffrey Epstein hiccup, I feel like is to dangle things in front of our face to distract us while they push through bills that we're not going to like, while they do things that we're not going to like. And they know that this is a massive distraction campaign currently right now. Not saying that the issue of child trafficking and pedophilia isn't a serious issue, because it is. And I think we have to look at that as a whole, not just this Jeffrey Epstein case. No, we need to look at the whole of the United States because pedophilia is a problem. This is a mental illness That's like a very high percentage. I was listening to a guy talk about it who's someone who's like in uh the business of catching the crooks basically. And he's talking about how like 40% of a lot of the male use online in the United States, 40 to 50%, it's like it's a very high percentage, are looking at child pornography. So this is out of control. I think if anything, yeah, catch the bad people in this whole Epstein thing, um, which may also be like I think what they do is they need to get Ghislaine Maxwell. They need to like get her to come public with her story first. I think that needs to happen. They need to get her to come out with her story, and then they need to go after Pam Bondi because I think she's lying about a lot of this stuff. Pam Bondi is she's like the smokescreen. She's dangling things and she's getting caught lying about things as well. So it's like it's a black hole. And I think what it's highlighting is like again how bad pedophilia is, and I think that has to be addressed as a number one priority because over here I think there's like a denial. In the Middle Eastern world, there's no denial. They don't care. I mean they're just open about it. I mean, their prophet was a pedophile essentially. So I mean, this was normalized, okay, in the community through their Bible. There's no, I mean, this is, you know, no one gets in trouble for it. But over here in the US, like it's done on the lowdown. So what is this, you know, obsession and sexualizing of children as a whole? Like we need to get to the root of the mental illness. That's just my take on it. But Um, I might do a show on this coming up soon though. We'll have to see you guys. We'll have to see because it does feel like a very dark topic, one that I don't know if I want to talk about or go too deep in. I may or may not. We'll see how I feel. Let me know down in the chat if you want me to do maybe a roundtable on the Epstein cases. Kendra says, I've seen weird frequencies coming off commercial airliners, and different airlines carry different frequencies. Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, they do have different frequencies. There's there's something within the technology of flight that maybe we haven't even entirely fully accessed. I mean, that was one of the things I really recognized with some of these pilots yesterday. They were flying in ways that you could tell there was some sort of magic up inside of them, like the way they were flying those planes. Like this one plane literally flew up. It gave all this gas to get really, really high, like straight up, and then it pulled off the gas and it was free falling for a long time and it was just spinning and flipping and doing all this stuff and like and I was like, "Oh my gosh, to be that pilot and to feel the free falling and get to like do your artistry in the air like that." So there's definitely magic that can be done. Starlight Haven says, feeling a lot of energy with Israel, the trees, and the Mother of Jerusalem. So much love there, even still. Yeah. I mean, I've been overall, I think, through what's going on, I've been pretty supportive of Israel in general and the stargates that are there and just everything that's happening. Like I feel like it is like it's a sound portal. It's definitely, I mean, this is how they collapsed down the Nephilim, right? As they like marched around Jericho with their trumpets. Okay, guys, I think I'm shutting down on this live now. So I love you all so much because I'm getting some errors on my side. But it was really good to tune in with you for this update. Just put a big like on this video. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, put a comment down below, share this out with your friends, and come and subscribe to my newsletters at IndigoAngel222.com. You get everything in writing, and sign up for my Patreon, patreon.com/IndigoAngel, and come join me for the 8/8 Lionsgate Gridwork with Israel. And I'll see you guys there. All right, I love you so much.